A very special moment for discussions. Tensions in the ground in Ukraine had their shadow inside the hall of the headquarters of the United Nations Security Council, transforming it into an event for trading blames. Speaking first, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken called on the international community to hold the Russian President Vladimir Putin accountable for the war in Ukraine, calling on every member of the UN Security Council to send a clear message to Russia that nuclear threats must stop immediately.
Defending Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity is about much more than standing up for one nation's right to choose its own path, fundamental as that right is. It's also about protecting an international order where no nation can redraw the borders of another by force. Every council member should send a clear message that these reckless nuclear threats must stop immediately.
His Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, present in the council room, did not, however, sit at the same table as the other ministers to listen to their speeches. He was replaced by a deputy before leaving earlier than the end of the session. He also made a speech where he rejected Western accusations regarding the war in Ukraine and demanded in return that the Ukrainian government be held accountable.
Instead of pushing the Kiev authorities to implement the Minsk agreement, Berlin, Paris and Washington cynically ignored the growing threats of Kiev to resolve problems of Donbass by force, the so-called Plan B.
For his part, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres called for an investigation into the catalogue of cruelties taking place in Ukraine, as he puts it.
The Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights has been documenting the unacceptable impact of this war on human rights. The reports are a catalogue of cruelty, summary execution, sexual violence, torture and other inhumane and degrading treatment against civilians and prisoners of war. The latest accounts of burial sites in Izium are extremely disturbing. All these allegations must be thoroughly investigated to ensure accountability.
No one expects the Council to act against Russia since Moscow has veto power as a permanent member. However, the meeting was still a rare moment for top diplomats from Ukraine and Russia to appear in the same room.